Michael Treegarden, a Lutheran pastor, after being excommunicated from his church for standing what he believed to be right, said this: "There are times in which lectures and publications will no longer suffice to communicate the necessary truth. At such times, the deeds and the sufferings of the saints create a new alphabet in order to reveal the secret truth." The gospel of suffering puts the good news in entirely different light, and it communicates it with authenticity. You see, maybe the time will come in America when no one will listen until we have students at our universities willing to fail, because they will not accept what is, quote, politically correct. Perhaps there will be no transformation until nurses are willing to lose their jobs rather than participate in abortions. Maybe our witness will not be authenticated until there are those who are willing to go through hardship at work, even when you have politically correct laws in the workplace, who nevertheless will witness for Christ and thereby be punished. But to take it with a sense of tranquility and a sense of joy, not with a victim mentality, but as the early apostles who rejoiced that they were counted worthy to suffer for his name. We represent a suffering God. A missionary in Kenya said this about some of the believers there who had been through death and mutilation. He said, "I am constantly humbled by their patience and lack of bitterness, which springs from an acceptance of the cross in their lives." That's what the cross enables us to do. Jesus, who when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he uttered no threats, but committed himself unto him that judgeth righteously. That is our example. That is our model of suffering. And what we must be willing to do is to, in some way, endure at least a part of what he endured. "Blessed are ye when men revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Great is your reward in heaven." God suffered. We should suffer. And in doing so, if we do it correctly, we represent God. You say, well, shouldn't we change everything we can change? Yes, of course. I have no better advice than the old adage that says change everything that you can change, accept what you cannot change, and pray to God that you know the difference. Blessed are those who see God in their suffering. You know, of course, that we talk about seeing God work mightily in America. I told you about England in a previous message in great spiritual need during the 1800s, and how God raised up two men. And one was Charles Wesley, and the other was his brother John. And the Wesley brothers preached throughout the length and breadth of England. And of course, in the 1700s, they came here as well. And they preached over in New England. And God did mighty works. What they believed is what we need to believe. That at the end of the day, what America really needs is to see the cross borne lovingly and joyfully by Christians who are called by his name. One of the brothers, that is Charles, loved to write hymns, and he wrote the hymn with which we are going to conclude today. Can you sing it? Can we sing it authentically? Amazing love, and can it be that thou, my God, should die for me? And if God did that, we must be like him in our willingness to suffer. Well, my friend, this is Pastor Lutzer, and as you know, this is a political season when we hear so much about politics, and all of us are anticipating the coming election and its results. But I need to share with you today that I believe that dark days are coming to the United States. There are people in Washington who believe that we as Christians are the enemy, and we need to be silenced. There are laws such as hate speech laws the fairness doctrine, which would require that when the gospel is preached, just like I have done, that on the airwaves someone else then has to come on and rebut what I have said in order to be fair. Well, you can see where that's going to lead. Yes, dark days are coming. But I believe it is important for us to realize that Bonhoeffer was right when he said that suffering is a gift. Paul said in the book of Philippians, "For unto you it is given in the name of Christ to suffer for his sake." It is a gift, and it is a sign of divine favor. So as we begin to suffer, living even in America, because of the imposition of paganism, that suffering actually is a gift of God. Let's suffer as Jesus did, as we represent him.
With these thoughts, Dr. Erwin Lutzer has concluded The Cross, the Suffering of God, the fifth message in his series on why the cross can do what politics can't. The terrible divisions between races and ethnic groups have led to tragic wars and sorrow. On Monday, we'll learn why the cross is the basis for reconciliation. Running to Win comes to you from the Moody Church in Chicago. In sorting out how to mix faith and politics, we all need some clear teaching. This 8-part CD series can be yours as our thank you when you give a gift of any amount to support Running to Win. Just call 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Online, go to offerrtw.com. That's offerrtw, all one word, .com. This is Dave McAllister. Don't miss the Monday edition of Running to Win.